Next up, we have this thing called Z, and while it has nothing to do with ZSH, it actually goes hand in hand with it quite nicely, especially if you are sort of in the mindset and workflow of how ZSH works. So what it does is essentially allows you to jump around to some of your directories really quickly. So if you use a directory frequently, or if you have recently been to a directory with a name that you sort of remember, you can jump right to that by just typing Z and then space, and then after it you just give it the name of directory that you want. So for example, I'm trying to get to my command line directory and I'm not totally sure if I named it properly, or for example, if it's like 3 levels deep or 4 levels deep. I just know that somewhere in the name of the directory has the word command. So I'm just going to type Z command, hit enter, and it kind of keeps a database of your most recently and frequently used folders, and it knows exactly that I can jump into my Dropbox and into my command line folder. And this is fantastic because I actually use a number structure for most of my projects. So if I know that I need to go to project 185, which is my book website, I can just hit Z185 and it knows exactly that 0185-book-website/express. That's the directory that I'm most frequently in, and I don't have to figure any of that out. I could have also said something like Z book and it would bring me right to the same directory. Then again, if I've got another, maybe my HackerU folder, I know that's 164 in my numbered project, so I hit enter and it'll bring me right to that. So you kind of get the point. You just type something that is in the title, and if you've recently or frequently used that directory, it's going to be maintained in a database of possible ones. Now, there's a whole bunch of different options that we could go ahead and do, but let's actually first just get it set up so we can include it. There's a couple ways that you can install it, and if you have Homebrew installed, you can simply just go ahead and type brew install Z, and that will take care of everything for you. However, if you're not totally sure what Homebrew is, that's a whole nother video. So let's just show you how to install it manually, which is really just a couple seconds to get up and running. So head on over to github.com/ruba/C, and we want to download the z.sh file. So go ahead and click raw, and we want to save this to somewhere where we're not going to delete it. So where I recommend putting this is just right in your home directory. So if you hit Command S or Control S on your thing and you hold down the Command Shift G, what that will do is it'll bring up this go-to folder, and we want to simply just type tilde. Another way you can get to that is clearly you just type hit your name in your home right here. So make sure that you save that as z.sh. Don't let the browser put any silly extension on here. So save it just as z.sh. You can see I've already got it right there. Go ahead and click it save. You can tell if you've done it is if you go into your command line and type ls ~z and hit tab, what that will do is it will say, oh, it's actually there, so you can just list it there. So it should be located in /users / the name of whatever profile you're signed in at, and z.sh. Now that we have it installed, we actually need to include it in every time that we run our shell window. And the best place to put that in is actually in our ZSHRC file, which we learned about in a previous video. So let's go ahead and open that up. So you can either type open, or I've got my Sublime text command, subl .zshrc. Hit enter, and what that will do is it will bring open your ZSH file. And I've got all kinds of stuff in here. We've talked about putting our theme and aliasing some of our stuff. This is what we want. So this essentially just includes that script every time that we open up a new window. So if I open up a new tab, what it's doing here is it's setting me up for a new ZSH session, and it included the Z file there for me. So just say dot space, and then you give it the URL to the path. So where is it located? It's in my home directory, which is tilde/z.sh. Once you're done that, click save. And now we actually need to make that take place. So we can either just close this tab and open up a new one, or you can type source /.z.sh ZSHRC. And what that will do is it just actually, it's equivalent to opening up a new session, and you can clear everything out. Now that you are in there, you can't actually start using it because Z actually works on building up a database for you. So you actually need to start going ahead and just like CDing over to your directories, just like you normally would. So maybe I do CD command line, good. Maybe go up a level, CD demos, good. CD talks, good. ... I'll go back. And after you do that, I maybe give it like half a day or something like that. After you do that, you should start to be able to use something like Z talks, and it will bring that to you. Go back to your home directory. I like to show people that it doesn't just find the folder that's in the directory that you're currently in. It will find pretty much anything. So I could say Z command. It brings me to a command line. Z book brings me into that. One kind of cool thing that we've got in this command line is a few different options. So if you head back to GitHub and we'll read the docs real quickly, we've got these great options that you can use. For example, -C allows you to restrict matches to subdirectories of the current directory. Where that's really useful is if you have directories that are named the same thing in every single project and you don't want to jump around to that. So for example, if I jump over here, I use WordPress quite a bit, and I'm going to move into one of my WordPress projects. I know it has the word songs in it, so I'm just going to say Z songs. Cool, so that brings me over to it. And now I know inside of here, probably about 3 or 4 levels deep, I have a theme, and it's called WB. West stands for West Boss, and I use that same theme folder in every single project that I do. So if I just said ZWB, it might jump to a totally different project that I'm not working on. But I want WB that is inside of this songs folder that I have. So what we do is I could just say ZWB, and then you pass in the flag, which is -C. And what that does is it goes /code /WP content /theme /WB. However, it makes sure that I stay within this one and I'm not going into some other project that's totally different. So that's extremely handy. By the way, that's a little handy tip there. If you ever want to go back to the directory that you just were, you just type dash, and that will kind of jump you back to your previously one. It's kind of like if you remember the TV remote where you jump between 2 ones, you can just keep hitting dash, and it will just bring you back and forth between those 2 directories. We've also got -H for help. -L is kind of cool. So I could say Z talks -L. And what -L will do is rather than actually bringing me to it, it will show me what they are. So I've got this one called Live Talks. I've got Sublime Text Talk. I've got a talk on self-publishing. And then I've just got this one right here. And what's cool about this is it shows you the score and the weighting, or this thing called, what do they call it here? Frecency. It's frequency and recency kind of combined together, and this is how it weights them. So clearly I've been to my talks directory way more and way more frequently than I've been to these other ones. So if I did Z talks, it's going to bring me to that one because that one has the highest weighting. So that's kind of nice that you can just see what you want, and if I wanted to go to any other of these, I'd be able to just go ahead and make my search a little bit more cleaner. Another way you can do it is actually pass it multiple regexes or multiple folder names that have the name in it. For example, if I go into my command line one and I were to just say ls, you'll see that there is this folder called Kate inside of it. And if I wanted to get to that Kate folder, but make sure that it's inside of the command line folder, what I could do is, let me just get out of this folder so we're doing it fresh. I say Z command. That will get me to the command, and then I do space Kate and hit enter. And what that does is it matches the first one for command and then the second folder inside of that for Kate. And you can actually chain those as long as you want. -R, match by rank only, -T, match by recent access only, and -X, remove the current directory from the data file. So sometimes you get like a directory that gets stuck in here, and maybe it's named something that you use frequently, and every time you use your Z key for that, it brings you into that. Like, for example, like a cache directory or just a project you're not working on anymore, you can hit the -X on that and it will just remove it entirely. So it's a very easy to learn, very simple thing. However, as you use it over the next couple days and weeks, it becomes an invaluable tool for jumping around between directories. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you check out my book and video series, Sublime Text Power User, at sublimetextbook.com. Use coupon code CommandLine for $10 off. As always, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter at WesBoss, WESBOS. Talk to you again soon.